Welcome to Catholic News Roundup. I'm Christine Niles. Today's June 13th, 2026. Here are this week's top stories. Washington, D.C.'s Cardinal is banning altar rails. Notes from Cardinal Robert McElroy's recent meeting with priests reveals he's discouraging Catholics from kneeling during Holy Communion. Quote, altar rail policy, clear directive, no installation or reinstallation of altar rails. Going on to note that temporary altar rails are also discouraged. Concerns were apparently raised about disrupting the flow of the communion line as well as safety, without defining what those safety concerns were. The Cardinal also feared kneelers would turn the exception into the norm, which in the U.S. is standing. McElroy's career has been dogged by controversy and scandal, not only accused of sheltering a priest convicted for rape, but also downplaying the gravity of abortion. His latest controversy involved abruptly cutting ties with the archdiocesan exorcist, Monsignor Stephen Rossetti, a longtime faithful priest known for his orthodoxy. McElroy failed to provide a clear canonical reason why he was being removed. A Catholic lawmaker is honoring the Sacred Heart. U.S. Representative Riley Moore of West Virginia introduced a House resolution on Friday to formally recognize June 12th as the solemnity of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. Quote, honoring the Sacred Heart as the living sign of Christ's divine love, mercy, humility, and reparation for sin. On social media, he tweeted, with my resolution, Congress joins the faithful in this devotion. In an age that exalts pride, let us proclaim the truth. Humility is not weakness. It is conformity to Christ, who was meek and humble of heart. Most Sacred Heart of Jesus, pray for us. Moore is known to be outspoken about his faith, often tweeting about the saints and Catholic teaching. This comes a day after the U.S. bishops consecrated the nation to the Sacred Heart for the first time in U.S. history.
We make reparation for the offenses against you and against human dignity that have taken place in this nation.
Catholics are hoping for an outpouring of grace. On Friday, Cardinal Raymond Burke consecrated the nation to the Sacred Heart at the Wisconsin Shrine of Our Lady of Guadalupe. Quite the contrast from Cardinal McElroy. This comes on the heels of Florida declaring June not Pride Month, but rather the month of the family. On June 8th, Catholic Governor Ron DeSantis formally announced June as Faith and Family Month, honoring the nuclear family. His proclamation extols, quote, the biblical family unit, and notes that fatherhood plays an influential and irreplaceable role within families. It also encouraged churches, businesses, and communities to promote events strengthening relationships between husbands and wives, parents and children, grandparents and grandchildren. But LGBT activists aren't happy.
The governor doesn't have a monopoly on faith and family, and we know that there are LGBTQ people of faith, there are LGBTQ families across the state.
The progressive city of St. Petersburg also pushed back, not only honoring Pride Month, but changing the governor's proclamation to Inclusive Faith and Family Month. In California, a lifeguard is being punished for refusing to raise the pride flag. Captain Jeffrey Little was placed on paid leave in 2023 after asking for an exemption to a government order to fly the pride flag outside his facility. He said raising the flag violates his Christian beliefs because it shows support for the gay lifestyle. The county refused to grant him the exemption, with the division chief telling him, quote, your religious beliefs don't matter. Little sued the county, and the case is finally heading to trial, with attorneys arguing that LA County violated Little's constitutional right to free exercise of religion. More Americans now disapprove of birth control, pornography, and homosexuality. This according to the most recent Gallup poll, showing only 83% of Americans approving of birth control, as opposed to 95% last year. On the issue of pornography, 31% find it acceptable, down 10 points from 41% in 2022. Support for homosexuality is also on the decline, with 62% finding same-sex relations acceptable, down from its high of 71% in 2022. As to children born out of wedlock, 58% of Americans now find it morally acceptable, as opposed to 67% last year. The new papal nuncio to the U.S. is striking a new, more traditional tone. Archbishop Gabriel Cacha addressed the U.S. bishops for the first time this month at their plenary assembly in Florida. Unlike his predecessor, Cardinal Christophe Pierre, who spoke much on synodality and pastoral accompaniment, Cacha emphasized tradition.
This continuity is important. We are not beginning again from zero. We receive a living tradition, and above all, we receive the love of Christ poured out from his heart for the life of the world.
He didn't mention synodality once in his speech. Pope Leo appointed Cacha Apostolic Nuncio in March. Before that, he had been serving as permanent observer of the Holy See to the United Nations. That is this week's Catholic News Roundup. Please go to stellamaris.media to sign up to our email list for the latest news and updates. Thank you so much for all of your support. Thank you for watching. May God bless your week. I'm Christine Niles.